Chapter 1, I feel trapped. What are you doing in a cage?
Well, it fits the video's theme of being trapped.
Ah, so you're a trap trapped in a trap.
I'm not a trap. I'm just trapped in a trap. Big difference.
So what does that make you?
I'm a trans woman, and it's actually offensive to refer to us as traps. It implies that we have some sort of ulterior motive, like we're trying to trick people, which we're not. We're just normal people.
Fair enough.
And it's dehumanizing language like that that makes trans people feel trapped, isolated, and even suicidal. Did you know that 98% of trans people that experience discrimination or violence have also contemplated suicide at one point or another? And of that percentage, 51% of them attempt suicide at some point in their lives.
Oof, big yikes.
A lot of it comes down to trans acceptance and the amount of harm and rejection we face as a community.
Well, what do you expect the rest of us to do about it?
I'm glad you asked. Let's break down some of the sociological problems that trans women face and see what can be done about it.
Chapter 2, the government.
In 1933, Nazis burned down over 20,000 books from the Institute of Sexology in Berlin. Years of queer research and studies gone to an ever-growing destructive fascist government. In January 1983, experts understood that the disease AIDS was now affecting more than 1,000 Americans and required immediate public health action. But the U.S. government wouldn't step in to help until September 1985. History has not been kind to us queer folk.
But how's it going in modern day?
Well, not too great. As of this recording, there are about 140 anti-trans bills and legislations filed against us across the United States.
Oof, that's not good. So what's to be done?
Well, as it currently stands, all these laws have been filed by the Conservative Party, so our only hope is to wait for the Democratic Party to actually do something for once, or the dismantling of our two-party system for one that better matches the people's consensus.
Chapter 3, some people hate us.
Over 64% of people support protecting trans people from discrimination, but there has been a growing antagonism towards queer and trans people. As in contrast, 60% of people believe a person's gender is determined by their sex at birth.
One step forward and one step back.
Just this November, there was a shooting in an LGBT nightclub that killed 5 people in Colorado Springs. And this December, extremists attacked and damaged the power station in Moore County, North Carolina, leaving thousands without power, all just to stop a drag show performance.
If the citizens are causing harmful attacks towards the LGBT community, then what's to be done to stop them?
We as a community need to spread awareness of these attacks against us and need to offer comprehensive education that spreads an anti-hate messaging.
So just keep calling out hate on social media then?
Well, that's a step. Or alternatively, since police have been known to slack on protecting us, we as a community can focus on forming armed militias to protect ourselves against these radical hate groups.
Only thing that beats a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun.
Unfortunately, in America, that is the truth.
Chapter 4, people want us, but they don't like us.
There's been a recent surge in trans popularity, but it's not the good kind of attention. It's blatant sexualization and objectification. Trans porn has risen 75% on Pornhub this year alone. While in contrary, trans people are 4 times more likely than cis people to be a victim of some sort of violence from rape, sexual assault, and aggravated or simple assault.
Well, that's what the police are for.
I wouldn't count on them. Trans people are 7 times more likely to experience physical violence when interacting with police compared to cis people.
My God, then what's to be done about it?
The best solution I've found to avoid violence is to avoid the violent attackers, which are primarily our cis straight men. So I recommend sticking with your community and avoiding areas with large amounts of cis straight men, like regular bars and clubs. Focus on queer-friendly nightclubs, bars, and bookstores. Focus on interacting within your community with useful apps like Grindr and the Her app for dating, or the Lex app for community outreach. The less you go outside and the more you stay away from non-queer spaces, the safer you'll be.
Sounds like anti-queer people are winning if they succeed in excluding queer people from their spaces.
I'd say it's more important to pick your battles and try to enjoy the comforts of your fellow kin. Not every decision needs to be a fight for equality. Sometimes just surviving is a win in and of itself.
Chapter 5, conclusion.
So in conclusion, society isn't the best to queer and trans people, but there's plenty of options we as a community can take to better protect ourselves against the oncoming wave of anti-queer sentiment. From forming militias, arming ourselves, avoiding unwelcoming crowds and environments, to even just hanging out with our fellow queers this holiday season to stay safe and warm through these trying times. So, happy holidays and safe travels to all my LGBTQs, pluses, and all those things. Love you all. Bye!